Yo, what is going on, guys? Here, my name is xBuzzerman, and today I got for you a Clash of Clans video. What we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about the best defending clan castle troop setups for clan wars for each of the housing spaces. So it's going to cover anything from 15 housing spaces to 35 housing spaces. I'm going to give you kind of a setup for each of those housing spaces, so if you're any of the level of clan castles, you should be able to still have an effective clan setup for defending your base. Let's go ahead and get started and start off with 15 housing spaces. Alright guys, so for our 15 housing space, we're going to have to go to 7 archers and 2 maxed wizards. The 2 maxed wizards are there only for the fact that if someone has a lightning spell and they just draw out your clan castle troops and they use a lightning spell, the 2 maxed wizards should be able to withstand those and they won't die on spot. And then the 7 archers are just for the fact that if someone's attacking you and they just go full in, those archers are very deadly because they have a lot of numbers and they can surround you, and so are the wizards. They're all very good, and it allows for a perfect 15 housing space. They're very good defending troops, and personally I just like them. You can't really get very creative with this setup. Usually it's just going to be a very archer dominant housing space setup, and the key for all this is trying to surprise the enemy, not having the same kind of generic clan castle or troop setup in every clan castle. So you're gonna go ahead and try to mix things up. So mixing up a few wizards inside those archers, that's probably the best you can do for the 15 housing space. Let's go on to 20 housing spaces. Alright guys, so for our 20 housing space, we're going to give you 3 different variants to use. We're trying to go ahead and mix things up, so if you guys are going ahead and try out all 3 of these and see how you like them, one might be more surprising than the other. We're going for the art of surprise stealth. You know, these people who are going to try to go ahead and lure out those clan castle troops, if they know what they're going to lure out, it's going to be a lot easier. So maybe trying a little bit of an unorthodox method, maybe trying out 2 valkyries and 1 wizard instead of just 1 dragon. Those are the 2 of the methods we're going to be talking about. That might work better than another, so use all 3, test them all out, see how one works. For 20 housing spaces, we're going to go with the very obvious one, which is 1 dragon, and 1 dragon, that's just real easy. You know, it's a really strong method as well. That bad boy cannot really get taken down by many spells. I'm not sure. I think it'll take quite a few poison spells to actually take him down. And then it's an air troop, so things like barbarians, P.E.K.K.A.s, other troops that you usually use, not a P.E.K.K.A, but other troops like barbarians can't really take him down. You're going to have to expend your more valuable wizards and archers to actually take that bad boy down. So 1 dragon can never go wrong with that, but if people know what they're attacking, it can be a little easier. Next one is 1 witch and 2 wizards. Witches are very annoying to go ahead and take out of the clan castle, and if you're in a very good clan that decides to join you, decides to donate you a witch, then you're very lucky. And using a wizard or 2 wizards as well, that's just even more pesky, so try that out. And then the last one would have to be 2 valkyries and 1 wizard. Valkyries have been very well known as a great defending troop for the clan castle, so maybe trying that out once again for just a 20 housing space. They're just annoying troops, so adding a wizard, or maybe you want to do a couple wizards and 1 valkyrie, because even though 1 valkyrie is annoying, or they are real pesky, you can't get around them easy, but adding a wizard along with that allows for kind of projectile damage and attacking while he doesn't get injured. So that's another good. Those are your 3 good methods or 3 good housing spaces opportunities. So let's go ahead and get on into our 25 housing space setups. Alright guys, so for our 25 housing space, we're gonna have a lot more to work with 25. You know, you can kind of mix things up and be a little creative with your the type of troops you want to put in. So let's go ahead and talk about that. We're gonna go off with our 1 dragon, 1 wizard, and 1 archer. Or you know the 1 archer just is kind of like a leftovers. You know, once you have your dragon, that takes up 20, and then you add your wizard, that's 24. You just fill in a wizard you fill in it with an archer just because you can. The dragon, like I said, very pesky troop, very good for the clan castle. I tend to donate dragons when I use my clan wars. And then the wizard, what that allows you to do is allows you to have something on the ground. So while these troops are attacking something in the air, something's also attacking from down below. That's just a very good 1-2 combination. The archers is there just for filler space. You know, it might come in clutch here or there, you never know. So you can deal a lot of area damage with that one. The next one, we're gonna go 3 balloons actually, 2 wizards and 1 archer. So like I said, you're using the air ground combo while troops are going at it at the top. Usually what's gonna happen is when you have those air troops come out, they're going to actually have to take out those air troops with something that uses projectile attacking, such as a wizard or an archer. And everyone knows those are not the best defending troops, so they can go ahead and they're a little bit weaker. So when they go ahead and you expend those troops, having a few wizards on the ground that can deal a lot of damage can go ahead and take out those troops pretty easily. So if they see those balloons, or the enemy is drawing out the clan castle troops, they see those balloons, they're going to have to use something that's very low on hit points. They go ahead and use those troops to go ahead and take out those balloons. And while you have a few more wizards, it makes the wizard's job easier because of the fact that they're just attacking something that would pretty much be a one-hit kill. So very good attack strategy. You know, you're playing to the weakness of the attacker, because they're having to use something that's weaker on the hit point side, and then you can just take them out pretty easy, if you get what I'm saying. And then the last one, it has to be 1 witch, 3 wizards, and 1 archer, because, you know, just fill in that 1 archer. The witch, like I said, it's very, very annoying just for the fact that it expends a ton of troops, it expends all those skeletons, and even better, if the witch doesn't die, it can keep expending more troops while the troops are still dealing with the 3 wizards and the 1 archers. You might actually even want to try maybe a golem, or not a golem, but a giant and a witch, because what could happen is, while the giant is going ahead and taking all the hits, that witch is expending more and more troops, so it's just making for a bigger and bigger chaotic mess. So you could try like 1 witch, 1 giant, 2 wizards, and whatever left over could be filled in with archers. That would be kind of cool. I think it'd just be 1 witch, 1 giant, and 2 wizards. So go ahead, try that one out as well. That just allows you to kind of be a little bit smarter. So while that witch, you're always going to hope that witch comes out last, and what's going to happen is those alright guys, sorry I had a little interruption. Back to our topic. So what's going to happen is those troops are going to be able to, that are attacking your base and luring out the clan castle, they're going to have to deal with that giant, so they're all going to be focusing on that giant, and while they're focusing on that giant, that wizard's just pumping out more troops, and it's just creating a bigger chaotic mess. They're going to have to expend more troops, and it's just going to be kind of awesome for you. So those are the 25 housing spaces. Let's go on to the 30 housing spaces. Alright guys, so for our 30 housing spaces, we're going to go kind of generic on this one, just for the fact that the certain troops are stronger than others for defending, and it just kind of gets inevitable when you get in those higher ranks. So we're going to go with 1 witch, 4 wizards, and 2 archers. Try out the 1 witch, you know, like I said, it keeps pumping out troops. The 4 wizards, just really strong attackers, and they really can't, they're hard to actually attack for, or get, you know, use a spell on. And then the 2 archers, just because you can. You might want to mix in a giant out there. I've used that, you know. Usually the common theory is giants aren't probably very good for clan, for just putting in your clan castle, but what they could be good for is actually just using as a meat stick while your witches are pumping out troops. So go ahead, try those 2 methods out. The next one would be 1 dragon, 2 wizards, and 2 archers. This is just a better version of what I used to talk about, which is, you know, while those troops who have to use their projectiles to attack up top, they're going to be actually at a disadvantage because they're usually weaker in their hit points. So those wizards will be able to attack them a little bit easier. So using it's kind of like a better or a smarter method. So you're using kind of a meat stick that's in the air. The only thing that can attack things in the air are things that can use projectiles, such as archers and wizards, which are notorious for not having the greatest hit points. You know, wizards do have better hit points, but it's still not amazing. So if you just throw in a wizard as well as a dragon, the people are going to have to attack it up top, and then they're going to be left vulnerable down below. That's where the wizards come in and go ahead and attack them. So very good strategy for wiping out a lot of troops. The next one is just 7 wizards, 6-7 wizards, and then fill the rest up with archers. Just real strong right there. It's just a meat stick right there. Just attack, and it's kind of something hard to deal with. Usually that's not my favorite one in particular. So I thought it was alright, but you know, it could be a little bit better. It's pretty standard, guys. So 6-7 wizards filled up with archers. If you guys like that, that floats your boat, that's alright. But we're gonna go on to now 35 housing spaces. Alright guys, so for 35 housing spaces, we're gonna have to go at 2 witches, 2 wizards, and 3 archers. It's just an extension of what I've been talking about. Witches are very good, wizards are good at attacking, and you can just keep pumping out troops. No more explanation for that needed. 1 dragon, 3 wizards, and 3 archers. And you know, since you can't use 2 dragons, you're just gonna use 1 dragon, and it's just really annoying. Like I said, that air ground combo is very deadly. And then the last one is just 7-8 wizards and then maxed out with archers. So it's just kind of an extension using more troops than like the 35, and that's alright. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have to talk about. Like I said, use all of these methods just for the fact that you're trying to catch the enemy by surprise, or your attacker, your raider, by surprise. If they know exactly what's in your clan castle, then you could be held at a disadvantage right there. If you put something in, or maybe mix these 2 combinations, or these combinations I've been showing you, it could lead for a surprise factor, and that's always good on your state. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any suggestions on what you think might be a better troop to put in your clan castle, go ahead and put the comment section down below. Definitely like to hear all your opinions on all of that. Maybe your personal favorite housing space, whatever you like to put in your housing spaces. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like this video up. I'll see you next time, and later.